We are performing the installation of the sliding glass door series 1100. He's performing the installation of the pan. The bottom pan is the one dedicated to collect the water and draining. This is very important. Sealing all the screw heads to avoid the water penetration into the property. After sealing the heads of all the screws that are attaching the bottom of the pan, we need to, in the back part of the pan, we need to apply a line all over the length of the pan, a line of caulking to prevent the water intrusion. It will seal the track with the pan like a sandwich made. The dog horn in 795 type of silicone used to seal between the pan and the track. It needs to be applied along the pan right here all over along these two veins are sealed too. It will prevent the water to seep through into the house and the better attachment between the pan and the track. This process is very important when we are installing this kind of assembly, pan and track. That is the most important part of the sealing when you are installing this type of door. It will prevent the water to leak into the house. Our assemble, we perform to the installation.
Popo, sácalo arriba un poco, para afuera.
No, tú lo tienes que dar. Tú. Ahí.
¿Cayó? Una mandarrita de goma.
Ya cayó. Those screws land exactly on top of the vein where the caulking was applied before. In this scenario, we are installing on top of an aluminum beam. That's why we are using self-tap screws. But regular installation requires
O ang talaro mo yun.
Top cone screws,
Hindi na
1/4 inch by 3 1/4 flathead. First, we install the moving panel. The one who's gonna have the lock on it. It needs to be installed in the inside track, rail. Next, we're going to perform the installation of one of the fixed panels. Now we proceed to install the fixed panels next to the moving panel. Now you need to move both panels to the right side, always taking precaution because the fixed panel has no wheel and it could damage the track. So make sure you use any tools to lift the glass and slide the door without touching the track. The installation of the outside for the fixed panel is performed between the first two bays of the track. Make sure that all the screws, all the parts that the cover has are covered by the screws. Those screws need to be sealed with silicone. For this procedure we are using silicone Dow Corning A99. The narrow one is always the fixed panel. This is the top side. Make sure when you install the covers they snap into the crevice they have. As I told you before, always use a tool to lift the fixed panel for it not to drag on top of the tracks. Now we are proceeding to install the top cover. That's the one who locks the fixed panel Make sure you do this procedure the way we are doing. The first white coat to be installed is the top one. Third panel. This size is named the astragal. It goes in the first track like the moving panel. Make sure the astragal is facing out. We slide the door, always taking care and time for it not to damage the bottom track. It doesn't have wheels, so that's why you need to be careful. Your door will slide on top of that vane. If you damage it, it will be bumpy. The door needs to be lifted in order to install the cover. The cover is always installed first by the astragal side. Make sure it click on the snap inside. This part here, it needs to be moved as close as you can to the fixed panel for not to damage the surface of the cover. First screw to be installed to the right jam. Make sure the edge of the cover hits the vane in the interior part, because if it is installed separate or too separate from it, your door, your moving door will get scratched or the door will become hard to move. This is what we are trying to avoid while you're installing the panels. If this happens, where the moving panels run, the door will make noise. So this is considered a damaged track if your moving panel will run over it. Screws are installed. We need to proceed to put back in place the third fixed panel. Here we need to secure these panels with self-tap screws. A couple of them will be enough. One on the top, one at the bottom. Then after we install the outside cover, it will cover the screws so your door will look neat and clean. This is the moving cover. This is very important. You need to make these two cover surfaces to match. As you can see, they are smooth. Before installing the covers, make sure that your door is well adjusted and is sliding properly. After you install the door, the covers, you need to make sure that this line here is as smaller as possible. It will keep your door away from the cover. Before using the self-tap screw, make sure you pre-drill for it to make a knee tight. You need to repeat the same operation to install the bottom screw. We have this cover pre-cut for it to smack in there, and we just stick it in. That is a finished cover. To install the stoppers, which they go on the top part, just make sure that you don't have light between the doors, between the frame of this door and the other frame. You see light there? Make sure you don't have light, and then the stopper goes right there. The door has this handle installed. In order for you to install the third panel, as I demonstrated before, this door is supposed to be without a handle for it to slide all the way back to make possible and easier the installation of the bottom cover. After you install the door, you can proceed to clean the car. This is a strategy that we use because when the caulking is fresh, it is messy. So we allow it to dry a little bit and the cleaning will be easier. Make sure the level is install facing up. This screw will prevent the lock to move after several times of use. Secure and sturdy. These two screws are the last one to attach to secure the handle. For the lock to operate properly, this pin here needs to hit this lump here. So with the tape measure, you can measure the distance from the bottom of the track to the center of this, and then you can regulate this catch by these two screws. After you regulating, coinciding the center of this lump with the center of this pin, which is the one who operate the catches.